Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we're on day 206. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here today. We're going to be reading out of Judges chapter 12 and 13, Jeremiah chapter 23, but only verses 25 through 40 today, and then Ephesians chapter 5, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm 107, verses 33 through 43. So let's hop into Judges chapter 12 and 13. What are they doing to me? That's okay. I love doing this. Here we go. The men of Ephraim were gathered together and passed northward, and they said to Jephthah, "Why did you pass over to fight against the children of Ammon, and didn't call us to go with you? We will burn your house around you with fire." Jephthah said to them, "I and my people were at great strife with the children of Ammon, and when I called you, you didn't save me out of their hand. When I saw that you didn't save me, I put my life in my hand and passed over against the children of Ammon, and Yahweh delivered them into my hand. Why then have you come up to me today to fight against me?" Then Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought with Ephraim. The men of Gilead struck Ephraim because they said, "You are fugitives of Ephraim, you Gileadites, in the middle of Ephraim and in the middle of Manasseh." The Gileadites took the fords of the Jordan against the Ephraimites. Whenever a fugitive of Ephraim said, "Let me go over," the men of Gilead said to him, "Are you an Ephraimite?" If he said no, then they said to him, "Now say Shibboleth." And he said Sibboleth, for he couldn't manage to pronounce it correctly. Then they seized him and killed him at the fords of the Jordan. At that time, 42,000 of Ephraim fell. Jephthah judged Israel 6 years. Then Jephthah the Gileadite died and was buried in the cities of Gilead. After him, Ibzan of Bethlehem judged Israel. He had 30 sons. He sent his 30 daughters outside his clan, and he brought in 30 daughters from outside his clan for his sons. He judged Israel 7 years. Ibzan died and was buried at Bethlehem. After him, Elon the Zebulunite judged Israel, and he judged Israel 10 years. Elon the Zebulunite died, and he was buried in Ahalon in the land of Zebulun. After him, Abdon, the son of Hillel, the Parathonite, judged Israel. He had 40 sons and 30 sons who rode on 70 donkey colts. He judged Israel 80 years. Abdon, the son of Hillel, the Parathonite, died and was buried in Parathon in the land of Ephraim, in the hill country of the Amalekites. Can I just go back real quick before we start chapter 13? This really cracks me up because I would be in huge trouble. Then they said to him, "Now say Shibboleth." And they said Sibboleth, for he couldn't manage to pronounce it correctly. Then they seized him and killed him. Oh my gosh. For any of you who have been following this channel, you know I don't do well with the pronunciations. I don't know. That cracked me up. All right. Here we go. Sorry. Chapter 13. The children of Israel again did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, and Yahweh delivered them into the hand of the Philistines 40 years. There was a certain man of Zorah, of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and childless. Yahweh's angel appeared to the woman and said to her, "See now, You are barren and childless, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now therefore, please beware and drink no wine nor strong drink, and don't eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and give birth to a son. No razor shall come on his head, for the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. He shall begin to save Israel out of the hand of the Philistines. When the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came to me, and his face was like the face of the angel of God, very awesome. I didn't ask him where he was from, neither did he tell me his name. But he said to me, Behold, you shall conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink. Don't eat anything unclean, for a child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated Yahweh and said, O Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come to us again, and teach us what we should do to the child who shall be born. And God listened to the man of Manoah, and the angel of God came again to the woman as she sat at the field. But Manoah, her husband, wasn't with her. The woman hurried and ran and told her husband, saying to him, Behold, the man who came to me that day has appeared to me. Manoah arose and followed his wife and came to the man and said to him, Are you the man who spoke to my wife? He said, I am. Manoah said, Now let your words happen. What shall the child's way of life and mission be? And Yahweh's angel said to Manoah, Of all that I said to the woman, let her beware. She may not eat of anything that comes from the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. Let her observe all that I commanded her. Manoah said to Yahweh's angel, Please stay with us, that we may make a young goat ready for you. Yahweh's angel said to Manoah, Though you detain me, I won't eat your bread. If you will prepare a burnt offering, you must offer it to Yahweh, for Manoah didn't know that he was Yahweh's angel. Manoah said to Yahweh's angel, What is your name? That when your words happen, we may honor you. And Yahweh's angel said to him, Why do you ask about my name, since it is incomprehensible? So Manoah took the young goat with the meal offering and offered it on the rock to Yahweh. Then the angel did an amazing thing as Manoah and his wife watched. For when the flame went up toward the sky from the altar, Yahweh's angel ascended in the flame of the altar. Manoah and his wife watched it, and they fell on their faces to the ground. But Yahweh's angel didn't appear to Manoah or to his wife anymore. Then Manoah knew that he was Yahweh's angel. Manoah said to his wife, We shall surely die because we have seen God. But his wife said to him, If Yahweh were pleased to kill us, he wouldn't have received a burnt offering and a meal offering at our hand, and he wouldn't have shown us all these things, nor would he have told us such things as these at this time. The woman bore a son and named him Samson. The child grew, and Yahweh blessed him. Yahweh's spirit began to move him in Mahanadan, between Zorah and Eshtaol. What a beautiful, beautiful, real-time story. Their questions are so innocent. And the angel being like, why are you asking me this? It's incomprehensible. I just so much love that. All right. It makes me feel like, I'm not the only one asking the silly questions. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 25 through 40. I love that. I think I'm going to read it again when we're done here. Okay, I have heard what the prophets have said, who prophesy lies in my name, saying, I had a dream, I had a dream. How long will this be in the heart of the prophets who prophesy lies, even the prophets of the deceit of their own heart? They intend to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they each tell his neighbor, as their fathers forgot my name because of Baal. The prophet who has a dream, let him tell a dream, and he who has my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the straw to the wheat, says Yahweh? Isn't my word like fire? And like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces, says Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, says Yahweh, who each steal my words from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, says Yahweh, who use their tongues and say, He says. Behold, I am against those who prophesy lying dreams, says Yahweh, who tell them and cause my people to err by their lies and by their vain boasting. Yet I didn't send them or command them. They don't profit this people at all, says Yahweh. When this people or the prophet or a priest asks you, saying, What is the message from Yahweh? Then you shall tell them, What message? I will cast you off, says Yahweh. As for the prophet, the priest, and the people who say, The message from Yahweh, I will even punish that man and his household. You will say everyone to his neighbor and everyone to his brother, What has Yahweh answered? And what has Yahweh said? You will mention the message from Yahweh no more, for every man's own word has become his message. For you have perverted the words of the living God, of Yahweh of armies, our God. You will say to the prophet, What has Yahweh answered you? And what has Yahweh spoken? Although you say, The message from Yahweh, therefore Yahweh says, Because you say this word, the message from Yahweh, and I have sent to you, telling you not to say the message from Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I will utterly forget you, and I will cast you off with the city that I give to you and your fathers away from my presence. I will bring an everlasting reproach on you, and a perpetual shame, which will not be forgotten. Yeah, we need to be very, very careful. I, for one, have often been tempted by people who say that they are prophets and that they are prophesying. There's a ton of them on YouTube. There's a ton of them. There are a ton of different things coming across YouTube, and it does draw in my curiosity. And then I just feel like, do I need to know anything more other than what I'm reading? Can I really trust the words coming out of these people's mouths that say they are prophesying? I have the beginning and I have the end. This is not a study Bible, but I do have a study Bible that goes more in depth to the chapters and things like that. I have the beginning, I have the end, I have Jesus and how we are supposed to be acting in the new covenant and what our relationship should be. And so I kind of feel like what I hear when people are saying they're prophesying, I just kind of feel like I don't know that I can trust you, because it's like you're word. I have his word. I don't know if that makes any sense. I would just caution. And that's actually what God says here. Ephesians chapter 5. And Paul continues. Be therefore imitators of God as beloved children. Walk in love, even as Christ also loved us and gave himself up for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling fragrance. But sexual immorality and all uncleanliness or covetousness, let it not even be mentioned among you, as becomes saints, nor filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not appropriate, but rather giving thanks. I'm going to read that over again. I feel like I missed a sentence. This is chapter 5. I'm going to start it completely over. Ephesians chapter 5. Here we go. Be therefore imitators of God as beloved children. Walk in love, even as Christ also loved us and gave himself up for us, an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet-smelling fragrance. But sexual immorality and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not even be mentioned among you, as becomes saints, nor filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not appropriate, but rather giving of thanks. Know this for sure, that no sexual immoral person, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes on the children of disobedience. Therefore, don't be partakers with them, for you were once darkness, but are now light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is well-pleasing to the Lord. Have no fellowship with the unfruitful deeds of darkness, but rather even reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of the things which are done by them in secret. But all things, when they are reproved, are revealed by the light, for everything that reveals is light. Therefore he says, Awake, you who sleep, and rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Therefore, watch carefully how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Therefore, don't be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Don't be drunken with wine, in which is dissipation, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always, concerning all things in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, to God, even the Father, subjecting yourselves to one another in the fear of Christ. Wives, be subject to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ also is the head of the assembly, being himself the Savior of the body. But as the assembly is subject to Christ, so let the wives also be to their own husbands in everything. And husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the assembly and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of water with the word, that he might present the assembly to himself gloriously, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without defect. even so, husbands also ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his own wife loves himself. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, even as the Lord also does the assembly, because we are members of his body and his flesh and bones. For this cause, a man will leave his father and mother and will be joined to his wife. Then the two will become one flesh. This mystery is great, but I speak concerning Christ and the assembly. Nevertheless, each of you must also love his own wife, even as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. It's a little bit for wives and husbands. All right, Psalm 107, verses 33 through 43. He turns rivers into a desert, water springs into a thirsty ground, and a fruitful land into a salt waste for the wickedness of those who dwell in it. He turns a desert into a pool of water, and a dry land into water springs. There he makes the hungry live, that they may prepare a city to live in, sow fields, plant vineyards, and reap the fruits of increase. He blesses them also, so that they are multiplied greatly. He doesn't allow their livestock to decrease. Again, they are diminished and bowed down through oppression, trouble, and sorrow. He pours contempt on princes and causes them to wander in a trackless waste. Yet he lifts the needy out of their affliction and increases their families like a flock. The upright will see it and be glad, and all the wicked will shut their mouths. Whoever is wise will pay attention to these things. They will consider the loving kindness of Yahweh. They will consider the loving kindness of Yahweh. It does not end with, whoever is wise will pay attention to these things. They will consider the violent wrath of Yahweh. That's not how it ends. No. Whoever is wise will pay attention to these things. They will consider the loving kindness of Yahweh. Well, guys, that finishes up today. I am so thankful that you stopped by. I'm very happy that you're showing up, and I hope that you're getting some good encouragement, maybe a giggle here and there to get you through the day. Please come back for tomorrow, which is going to be day 207. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.